4 heroes are summoned from another world, and they are welcomed by the Princess of Riesager. One of the mages appraises the heroes' powers, and they all possess different unique talents. The handsome boy gets the skill to be a holy sword wielder, and the other 2 girls gets the ability to use all kinds of magic, like light, wind, lightning, and ice magic. We then meet 27-years-old Mukuda Tsuyoshi. When he gets appraised, his skill is revealed to be online grocery. Hearing this, the other 3 students mockingly laugh at him, thinking his skill is useless. Mukuda is shocked and asks the mage if he possesses any other abilities, but the mage tells him that is his only skill. Mukuda gets confused as to why the others are gifted with overpowered skills. One of the mages informs him that despite his useless skill, he must have an audience with the king. Later, the heroes kneel before the king, and the king explains that the Demon King has occasionally attacked his kingdom, and asks for the heroes to help restore the peace in the Riesager kingdom. He also says that the Demon King might know how to send them back to their world. The 3 heroes agreed to help in defeating the Demon King with their skills. Mukuda, who is far behind the other 3, stands up and tells them that he doesn't think he is cut out to be a hero, since his skill is of no use, and he would only get in the way. He wishes to live a simple life. While Mukuda walks down the street, he looks at the 20 gold coins consolation money that was given to him. He looks up and notices the people around him are staring at him because of his clothes, so he quickly buys a new outfit to blend in and avoid attention. After eating, he gets a cheap room and lies on the bed. He is happy that he decided not to be a hero. He recalls how the royal family looked suspicious with their luxurious outfits. He decides to move to another kingdom as soon as possible. He then proceeds to learn about his skill and opens the stats window and discovers that he has an appraisal skill and an item box skill with which he doesn't have to bother about carrying lots of heavy loads around. He calls out his online grocery skill, but nothing happened. However, as he taps the online grocery name on the stats window, an online grocery store opens up. Mukuda orders a bottle of water and a snack. He tries to check out but couldn't, as it asks for money. He pays by depositing a coin into the screen and confirms his order. Suddenly, a package appears containing the items he ordered. Mukuda is amazed at the instant delivery. With his skill, he doesn't need to worry about getting hungry. It is not as useless as he thought after all. The next morning, Mukuda boards a ride out of the kingdom. On his way, he meets a soap merchant, and through their discussion, Mukuda discovers that his item box skill is a very rare skill that only 1 in 1,000 possesses. He then asks the merchant about the appraisal skill, and the merchant reveals to him that the appraisal skill is a dream of every merchant. But it is so rare that only heroes summoned from another world can possess it. Mukuda tries not to look suspicious and decides not to reveal to anyone that he possesses both skills. When Mukuda arrives at a town, he discovers that all travel services has been suspended to stop the people from leaving the kingdom, because low population would lead to low numbers of soldiers. Mukuda goes to the Adventurers Guild and put in a request for escorts that will accompany him to the kingdom of Venan by foot. The receptionist tells him that it will take days to complete the mission, since he is going on foot. So, due to the length of the trip, it would cost him at least 8 gold coins. The receptionist further explains that as a result of the closed border, there is high demand for escorts, hence the high price. Mukuda is alarmed, but after giving it some thought, he agrees to pay. The receptionist calls over a man whose name is Werner. Werner then introduces himself as a C-rank adventurer. Mukuda negotiates with him and promises to provide them with food throughout their journey. Werner accepts the request, and they agree to leave the next morning. The following morning, Werner introduces his teammate to Mukuda: Vincent the swordsman, Rita the scout, Ramon the mage, and Franca the healer. Afterwards, they begin their journey to the kingdom of Venan. After traveling for a while, they decided to rest. Mukuda offers to make lunch for them. He takes out a pot and stove using his item box skill, which surprises Vincent. Rita is amazed after seeing the stove and she thinks it is a magic stove. But Mukuda tells her that he got it from a friend. He recalls how a shopkeeper tried to sell him a portable magic stove for 50 gold coins, so he instead bought a cheap portable stove through his online grocery store. He then prepares some bread sandwiches and soup for the escorts. They are impressed and amazed after tasting the delicious food. They all praise Mukuda's cooking. Ramon says the soup is refreshing and rich. Vincent loves the softness of the bread and says he has never eaten bread this soft. Mukuda then lies, saying that the bread is from his hometown which he had kept in his item box. Werner stops eating and feels bad for such a precious bread. Mukuda assures him not to worry and he began to eat. They are all glad they accepted the job as they get to eat delicious food. As they continue their journey, Rita spots something moving in the trees. She alerts her teammates, and suddenly 2 flying monsters come out of the tree to attack them. Vincent and Werner ran towards them and swiftly cut them in half with their swords. As Franca is healing Vincent's bruised hands, Rita the scout comes running towards them and reports that there is a red boar ahead. Soon, the red boar appears before them. Mukuda is terrified. Werner asks him to hide behind them in the back. Werner and Vincent immediately starts battling the boar, and they defeated it in no time. Seeing this, Mukuda is impressed with their skill and strength. After butchering the boar for its skin and horns, Werner says they will be able to sell some parts of it for a good price. But unfortunately, they will be leaving some of the meat behind, as there is too much for them to carry. So, Mukuda offers to help them store the meat in his item box. Later, in the evening, they decide to settle down to rest. Mukuda offers to make dinner and they all surround him waiting for him to start cooking. This makes it difficult for Mukuda to use his online grocery store to get ingredients, so he lies to them, saying that it is hard for him to focus with them around and he feels embarrassed. He starts cooking, adding some bacon, cabbages, carrots, sausages, and potatoes. The soup, which he calls pot au feu, is ready and he gives everyone a bowl of it. However, as soon as they take a spoon of the soup, they get silent for a minute. Mukuda is worried that it's not to their taste. But they started eating very fast and they all ask for seconds. Mukuda is surprised. Ramon reveals that they normally eat dried meat and hard bread while traveling. Rita feels her body is in better shape than usual, thanks to Mukuda's food. Franca also says that her fatigue has faded away. Mukuda finds this a bit strange, so he uses his appraisal skill. He is shocked to see Rita's stats has been boosted. He then appraises the food. He finds out that the food increases MP and stats because the ingredients are from another world. Mukuda gets worried, thinking if anyone finds out, he might be turned into their slave. So, he decides to keep it a secret. But all the while they were eating, there is a beast looking at them from behind the bushes. The next day, on their adventurous journey, Werner informs them that they would reach the kingdom of Venan in 2 or 3 days, and as soon as they cross the border, they will reach the town in half a day. When it gets dark, they decide to settle and set up camp in the forest. Mukuda decides to make dinner with the red boar meat. In order to keep the ingredients from the online grocery a secret, he decides to use more ingredients from this world. He slices the meat, then pour ginger sauce into it to marinate the meat. He also slices cabbages, which is important for the meal. Afterwards, he fries the meat, making the others salivate at the smell, and it also draws the attention of the beast. The food is finally ready and they all began to eat. They are astonished by the softness and flavor of the meat. Rita says that she has never tasted meat this soft and delicious. Franca says even though she doesn't like red boar meat, she loves the way Mukuda prepared it, as it is amazing. They are all filled with joy as they eat. But, suddenly, their facial expressions turn to that of fear. Mukuda is confused at their expression. Terrified, Werner tells Mukuda to look behind him, and when he did, there is a huge beast standing before them. They are all shocked and froze. The beast's name is Fenrir. He speaks to them and demands that they offer him some of the meat. Terrified, Mukuda gives him a plate of meat and he finishes it in one bite. He demands for more, saying it is not enough. Mukuda asks Fenrir to give him some time to prepare more. The beast looks at him and tells him to hurry it up. Mukuda then prepares more meat and offers a huge plate of meat to Fenrir. Fenrir devours it and demands for more. Mukuda prepares another bowl, but the beast keeps asking for more. After cooking and cooking multiple times, finally the beast is satisfied. Fenrir is impressed that Mukuda is able to satisfy him with a paltry amount of meat. Fenrir then offers to form a familiar contract with Mukuda. However, Mukuda tries to reject it, but Fenrir gives him a death stare, so he gets scared and accepts the contract. Fenrir's head begins to glow and he places his forehead on Mukuda's and they form the contract. Fenrir tells Mukuda that he is now responsible for his well-being, as he expects 3 meals a day. And that's where the episode ends. Thanks for watching.